What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're talking about The Testament Season 1, Episode 2. This is on Hulu, has audio description, is the sequel series to The Handmaid's Tale. It's based on the book by Margaret Atwood, and we're watching it because I watched Handmaid's Tale, I recapped Handmaid's Tale, so we're going to get into this. This is, of course, the big project, big follow-up project for our one battle, Discovery Chase Infinity, who's playing Agnes here, who you should have picked up by now because it's the second episode, and spoilers, by the way, because that's what recaps are. She's June's first daughter, and then it is strongly suggested that her newest little Pearl is what they call these girls that come from outside the community. Daisy is the other daughter, is Nicole. Um, so that is the strong suggestion, is that Daisy has infiltrated, because we see at the end of the first episode she has this like little transistor radio thing and she's listening to this special code. For whatever reason, well, actually, I don't. I for a reason I will explain shortly. I know what the reason is, but it feels like for whatever reason Daisy decides to confess to the fact that she used like the Lord's name in vain or something like that. So she ends up being in a situation where, and this comes after. Also, at the end of the last episode, we saw that Agnes had her period, and so there's a little bit of that trepidation. And she discusses sort of the fear. She's not really sure she wants to get married at 15. Again, we have Chase Infinity, who's 25, playing a 15-year-old. Sure, she's going to make her entire career off of playing characters that are way younger than what she actually is. But she has these... She talks about having these nightmares about some faceless man that she ends up... So she has mixed feelings about the whole marriage thing, and we see her flashback to the times where she's with her her family, her adopted family, her Gilead family, and her Gilead mother, and she's like having some nice time on the beach. Her mom has since passed away, and she's only being raised by her father at this point. So she has to keep saying this like stupid phrase like, with as Ruth, God blessed Ruth and whatever from the Bible, and I can't. I lost it. Not my strong suit. Ruth and Sarah, he so blessed me and answered the prayers of. Okay, so she keeps having to say that every time she talks about having her period for the first time. Um, so she tries to go into the cafeteria to tell her friend, her cafeteria friend, whatever, the one that is her. I think that's her Martha. But she had looked after her mother, and now she's at this school with the other daughters of commanders, who are all in sort of training to become wives. They're not handmaids. Um, so one of the aunts finds her and makes sure and gives her the stuff that she needs and gives her like a pad to use for her periods, and it reminds her that that the aunts are going to do their own inspection. There'll be a doctor, and there's this whole like procedure she has to go through. And we see that. That's kind of what the episode is. But she gets to go to the bell tower and ring a bell, and she goes up there, and Daisy tries to follow her, and Agnes is like, no, you can't come up here. And it's really just a bell tower. She just goes to the top and rings a bell, and then that's all she does, which lets lets the whole school know that she has had her period and she's been blessed by God. In and around this time, I guess Daisy decides to confess that she cursed, so she ends up in the punishment room where the other girls have to decide what her punishment will be. Doesn't really seem like her punishment is much. But I guess this is where they get to dole out punishment, and they just kind of insult her. Whatever. Uh, Moving on. um, Agnes is gonna keep talking to her friends about Becca is her friend that is also had her period, and also they get their dresses are made green to show that they are ready to be married off. So she was already in the process of getting fit of her dress, and now Agnes is going to join her as being green for the season. They did make a reference in the first episode. They're like, "I wish we could all be green together." Looks like that's happening. So uh, Agnes ends up sort of encroaching on this moment for Becca and is worried that she's ruining it for Becca. And Becca says, "Yeah, I didn't want this for you, but to be fair, I don't want this for myself either." She sort of has like a really honest moment. She's like, I just don't want to get married. Like, I don't see that. I don't really want that for me. Um, so there's trepidation within Becca also. Agnes is going to go to the doctor, who cops a feel, by the way. But at this point in Gilead, like, I think the show plays it as like, ooh, this is the doctor doing. It's like, we don't know that he is. It's Gilead, man. I mean, this is a whole thing run by creepy dudes. They could have totally convinced somebody along the way. They're like, well, we have to feel the breasts to make sure that the material is there to be able to continue to make milk. And I no idea. Like the actual like legitimacy behind any of this that makes no sense. So did he molest her, or is this all part of like Gilead's? Like, is this actually part of the test? It's hard to tell. The show kind of plays it as like an overreach from on the doctor's behalf, but at the same time, it's fucking Gilead. Like everything is an overreach. Everything. So she gets inspected by the doctor, and then she's gonna go and she gets to see her father, Father Mackenzie, and she he's in there with all of his like commander buddies, who like all she has to like walk over to him. She kneels in front of him, and there in the audio description there was some dick who like had his like legs up in a way where across whatever, so she couldn't like get through, and he had to put his legs down. And I'm like, what's the point of that? I mean, it's not his house, and she's coming through for this like procedure to go over to her father. Like, what was even the point of exerting your space in that moment? We do see that Agnes has a little bit of flirtation with a guard who she catches him smoking cigarettes, which he's not supposed to be doing, um, and reminds him of that. And there seems to be a little bit of something in between them. Maybe we'll find out. He wasn't a good enough actor for me to read anything into it. I was like, this could also just be a day player. We'll find out. He was probably the only person in the entire cast who I thought was a weak link. There's a little bit of Aunt Lydia here, but not much. Just a little bit more about her. Like talking about her life and what she's able to do, and still sort of scrutinizing. There's a little bit of this disappointment because Daisy said she said a curse word or whatever, and like they're like, Agnes, you were supposed to look after Daisy, and that kind of nonsense. So are you really gonna be ready for this motherhood stuff? And she apologizes, and at the end of the episode, we see Daisy is continuing her "don't let the bastards get you down" mentality by scraping out like a map of the interior of the facility on like a piece of paper. She has like a match thing, and she's scraping out. She's drawing a map of the facility. So, but when she returns to she's in the bathroom, and she's able to successfully hide from an aunt, and then when she returns to bed and she rolls over, she sees that the girl in the bed next to her is awake, and then she kind of casually just like rolls over and looks away from the awake girl on the other side. We'll see if that happens to be anything. But yeah, I'm liking the show so far. There's one more episode. Testament's dropped 3 episodes, so I'm gonna get to that one for you. Um, we'll see what happens. There no major massive cameo in this episode like there was in the first one with June showing up in the first episode. So, I one more episode to watch from the debut, and I'll see you guys on the other side.